Alright, y'all, so today is my 21st birthday. I just took a shot, so if I do seem a bit impaired, you'll know why, alright? But anyways, I just figured I wanted to do this video on my birthday and everything and just, go from there, because I feel like it's only right. So I'm not going to be telling much, but, it's going to be a little video update, but it's also going to be a little mini story. This is going to be called The Origins of SteelCityMeech. Alright, so you just know about he's from the Steel City, left and right and all that mess, but nobody really knows that side of me, the personal side of me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like when I came in like 3 years ago, my first intentions was just to say, oh, well, my name is Demetrius Jennings, but my name on here is SteelCityMeech. I'm gonna be doing some content and then, we'll see where we go from here. But now it's like, wow, if you would have thought I would have been right here at this time, probably wouldn't have said it. Probably wouldn't have said it, especially with a gaming channel. This was the goal. Like with the gaming channel, I've been meaning to have a gaming channel for like a long time. I've been wanting a gaming channel since I was in middle school, honestly. But I've been watching content, since for YouTube since I was like in elementary school, no cap. Besides being from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I'm not from the best place. Like, I'm not. I grew up in like not the best area, a lot of crimes happening and everything. So if you see me talking proper, dude, that's because I chose to talk proper, all right? I'm from the hood, and I can take it that route if I want to, but on the other hand, I don't feel like trying to appeal to people by talking what my hood accent would be and everything, so I don't like to go that route, you know what I'm saying? I basically got into football, the love of college football, at a really young age. I remember growing up and my dad would be playing NCAA football. It was either 2003 or 2004, but I definitely grew up on those. Those are like the first games I ever played as a fan. I remember when I was 3, I went to the Pitt Panther game. They were going against Notre Dame, and I think Notre Dame won. And I remember that was one of the games Larry Fitzgerald was playing, and Larry Fitzgerald is one of my all-time favorite players. So I can't necessarily say I grew up watching him. Well, I did grow up watching him. But, when he was in college, I was too young to really know who was who and everything. And plus, I remember falling asleep, or at least that's what my dad told me. My biological dad told me. So, yeah, that happened. Growing up as a college football fan, it was probably some of the best years of my life, honestly. For example, I never told anybody this. So my first words was mama, dada, you know what I'm saying, all that jazz. But my first big words, and it's so crazy because I don't even tell people about this. My first big words, according to my mom, was Oklahoma Sooners. And the funny thing about it is I don't even like the Oklahoma Sooners. So it was like a genuine love for college football. It was my genuine escape. That's why I could say about NCAA football. Even when I was going through bad things as a little kid, NCAA football was the literal escape for everything. It was the first ever game I remember. It was the first game I went to get away from certain things. It was the first game that I genuinely felt like was really close to me, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, around the way, I would go through my young childhood stage and everything, trying to figure out what to do, why my mom was always by herself and everything, and then doing things on her own. And that's when I got hit with the humble pie of being grateful. Not things weren't easy when I lived up there at a young age. People don't know this, man, but when I used to be in Pittsburgh, when I used to live in Pittsburgh, it's so funny because me and my siblings, we always used to just eat on deep freezer, and our seats used to be like buckets of paint. And nobody ever knows that. But it was so crazy because it felt so normal, and I don't know why. I think it was just because as a little kid, you just always tried to find the great, like the joy in things. You know what I'm saying? So I always just like to, you know, find the joy in things as a young child and everything, even when it wasn't normal. And, you know, sometimes, you know, mom would always allow us to just eat in our own room, but, you know, that's where the bugs always came from. So I guess you could say, you know, with not much of father figure help, you know, for the most part, my mom was like easily one of my biggest inspirations. I think, you know, her going through what she went through and everything, you know, just teaching me how to be a man. Like my sisters, like I don't have any brothers, so it was just my 2 older sisters and my mom. And I think they taught me how to be a man way better than some of the father figures that were in my life 24/7. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, dude, I would never change, you know, a thing about that. And, you know, just looking back at it, I was just like, wow, that's probably one of the biggest blessings ever, honestly. From that point on, you know, I always just wanted to play football and everything. I did play some youth football, and I was always a sore loser. And I remember, you know, just always crying about just simple random games because I couldn't win the game. But I remember one time I was playing for the little Lincoln Wildcats or something, because I used to live in Pittsburgh. I used to live in the Homewood area, right? And I remember one time, it was the last play before they called the game off. And I remember I just ran up to the quarterback, ripped it, and just kept running. And I ran for like a last second touchdown. And that's when I kind of realized, like, yo, like, I got like a little bit of a clutch gene. Because the very next game we went against this team that will always whoop us. And I just remember they threw the ball to me. I caught the ball and I did this little like video game dive into the end zone. And I was just like, yo, like I just had it. But unfortunately, I couldn't play football again until I was in North Carolina, because there was always a whole bunch of shootings. It wasn't safe, and you know, my mom was going through hard times, so I had to delay all my stuff, all my, you know, feelings for football until further notice. Elementary school was one of those like times where, you know, you kind of live and you learn and everything. You just kind of reminisce for the most part. Like, I think there wasn't a week by where somebody, like little kids, was like, man, I hate this school, I need to get out this school and everything. But the fact of the matter was, it was like, it felt so normal to me, like all the fights 24/7, the fact that, you know, in the Pittsburgh area, Arsenal was like, is still to this day, still known as one of the worst elementary schools you can attend in Pittsburgh, which is insane to me, because like, I'm like literally a product of it. And you know, I do still follow a few people that I went to elementary school with, and they're living, you know, great lives and everything. And dog, that's just like, yo, it's great to see that, you know, my childhood friend, you know, people that I grew up with are doing well around this time. So dude, that was dope for me. It's kind of weird, but like, I always feel like elementary school was like the best years of my life besides now. And I don't know why. I feel like as a middle schooler, as a high schooler, I tended to go back to those days of elementary school to figure out how great things really were. But the fact of the matter is, it was only just because I was a little kid. And the fact of the matter is, if I would have grew up and been around the wrong crowd, there probably would not have been a YouTube channel known as SteelCityMeech. You probably wouldn't have heard of it. And yeah, man, it's the sad truth, man, and that's certain things to grow up on. After my elementary school year, I actually moved out of, you know, Pittsburgh to go to Charlotte, North Carolina. And the people there, like to this day, it's no disrespect from people that are, you know, people that are from Charlotte, but I feel like Charlotte is genuinely like based off hate. Like, I'm sorry, because some of the people, like, I will never understand to this day why, you know, certain people act the way they act around this area. Like, they act the way they act so bad to the point where it almost mentally drove me insane. Like, honestly, like in terms of like relationship, love life, making friends and all that mess. It was just a shady moment. It was just shady moments after shady moments left and right. And to make matters even worse, like middle school was one of the worst years of my life, honestly. I just felt like I couldn't be myself. As a 12, 11, 13-year-old kid, I felt like I couldn't be myself. Like, and it was just like I had to adapt a whole nother, you know, vibe, a whole nother voice, because if I didn't, then I would be speaking on hood and everything, and it wouldn't appeal to the, you know, to the people in North Carolina, because I thought that's what I had to do. The fact of the matter is, man, they wasn't really any quite better. Actually, they were even worse if you want to think about it, because not only were they not from the hood, but they were acting hood too. And at the end of the day, I couldn't take none of those, you know, people serious for the most part. It was just basically a whole lot of BS and a whole lot of just like fake nonsense and all that mess. And I just don't like to talk about middle school, because it's just one of those things that's just like, I hate this. High school. Now, high school is around the time I finally got to get my hands on, you know, high school football. But it was also the time where I was exposed to the sad truth of college, or not college, the sad truth of high school football. Like, I remember I quit freshman year, and, you know, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna go back there sophomore year. I remember sophomore year, I came back and I was doing what I had to do, but my, you know, my grades weren't as good. And I'm a really smart and intelligent person, but the fact of the matter is, when I came from elementary school to middle school, things moved unnecessarily fast. Like, and the sad thing about it is, in the city of Charlotte, they have this little area called, you know, CMS, Charlotte Mecklenburg Schools. And the crazy thing about it is, like, they move fast because it's like, oh, they want people to act like, you know, feel like there's a difference between high school and middle school. The fact of the matter is there isn't. It just moves unnecessarily fast for no apparent reason. And the sad thing about it is, according to college people, college ain't even that bad as much as they, you know, they hype it up to be in high school. So it's like, what are you actually doing this for? If a classmate was failing, not even trying, they were going to try their hardest to get that graduation rate up. And at the end of the day, it didn't matter to my 100% perfect attendance, because, oh, they did good on this test, so they go up. But if I was to be their, you know, attendance of 100% and just get a C grade, that was my grade. But a dude that can't show up can just make up time and then somehow get a B on it, and he'll get better grades than me and be able to get into college. That's when I finally realized that college was a scam in advance. If you're trying to tell me high school is willing to say this person who barely showed up to school is able to get these grades and get accepted to this college, but I'm not with a perfect attendance and literally the same amount of grades, I said no. So of course not. And I did think about going. I really did. I genuinely did think about going. But like, it just never felt like it was for me. I think I was going through that stage where I was like, oh, so in other words, you want me to be in debt? No, I don't have time for that. I'm sorry. Because at the time, I'm trying to make money. I'm to this day always trying to make money. Everybody, that's our whole lives, trying to make money. You try to make money left and right and all that mess, and then it's like, I mean, I might as well keep on doing this and get myself my own place or something like that and go from there. Whereas I was to go to college or something and be in debt for stuff I gotta pay because the government don't want to give me a free ride or something. Screw that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, as you see me right now, I'm officially 21 years old. And after I graduated, or not after I graduated, I used to do track, and track was just, it was cool for the most part, but my heart wasn't in it, especially when, you know, I would deal with like my ex-girlfriend and all that mess. In junior year, my ex-girlfriend like cheated on me or whatever. Then, but I stayed so quiet because I'm a respectful person. I don't like to put people out there. But then my ex-girlfriend was trying to put me out there to other people, and people were believing in it because I decided to remain silent. And why am I bringing this up? It's because it got brought to track team, and people just kept bringing stuff from outside the track. You want to be professional, you got to leave that outside mumbo jumbo out of the track. You know what I'm saying? If I'm on track, I'm here to run, I'm here to practice. But you know, high schoolers are really immature, and at the end of the day, they brought that mess. It got brought to the coaches, and that mess had me levels heated. Because they were like, oh, we don't care if you're upset. We don't care if you broke up with your girlfriend. I'm like, how do you even know this? I'm like, how do y'all even know this? Like, I'm sitting here keeping my privacy to myself, and y'all got random people telling people what happened. And I'm like, what? Why? This isn't professional. That's not the way to handle things. It really isn't. The point of me saying that is, I decided to come back for one last year, my senior year, for indoor track. And after everything, I was just over it. January, like I started my YouTube channel January 13th, 2018, my 18th birthday. I was still in school at the time, so if you see this YouTube channel and you see the gaming channel, or vice versa, whatever one I'm about to put it on, I'm gonna probably put it on both. Dude, I had no hype on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, coming from high school. None, zero, nothing. It wasn't like, oh, I really like him, I'm gonna subscribe to his channel and support him. No, it was literally like, oh, I mean, you know, I'm done with this, you know, with track, man. I'm gonna go, you know, do something I've always wanted to do. I'm gonna, you know, go do YouTube. And I know people was like, oh man, YouTube? Who leaves track team to go to YouTube? You know what I'm saying? There's not even a possibility he gonna make it. But the fact of the matter is, I was ready from the jump. So when I started my first reaction, it was the 5 Fingers of Death worst freestyle or some mess like that. It was with the O'Malley reaction. Dude, that mess was hilarious. And I just went from there. And even though I wasn't getting the views, I always had the mentality of, this is a go hard or go home. Go hard or don't record at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? And from that point on, you can watch the first year. Yeah, it's gonna look a little cringy, but one of my first ever posts, like, it wasn't my first ever post, but one of my first few posts I ever did was the Proud Family Focus video. That has over 1,000 views. That was off 2 weeks of iMovie experience. Never even recorded before that. And that was one of the most, like, well thought out things. Now, the reason why I didn't do those little Proud Family Focus videos anymore was for the simple fact that I seen dudes like Toonrific Tariq. Like, Toonrific Tariq is one of the dopest cartoon review channels ever. You know, we talked a little bit. I told him, you know, yo, I remember you did that, you know, that video with Derek King. You animated that video with Derek King. You know what I'm saying? And I remember that. He was like, oh yeah, I remember I seen your reaction. Dude, that was around the first years I ever did YouTube. I didn't even know, like, that was the same dude. But that man is a beast. He's literally the definition of, like, why we need more, like, African-American cartoon review. Because it's like, yo, no, not too many people have that voice for other African-American people. You know what I'm saying? So when I seen that mess, I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I did that mess. I just kept going and going, and I went from there. And then it went from, you know, me doing it for the African-American culture to actually realize, like, yo, how many people in Pittsburgh are really doing this? You know what I'm saying? I might be in Charlotte right now, but how many people in Pittsburgh are doing this? So once Jimmy Wapo died, his birthday is actually the same day as mine, January 13th. He would have been maybe 24, He probably would have been 24 today. He died the same day X died. Then Mac Miller died 2 years ago. And that's when it finally hit me like, yo, there's not too many YouTubers from Pittsburgh that's actually doing this. Dude, I can make a name for myself simply off from where I'm from. Not too many people are from Pittsburgh that's doing what I'm doing right now. And I noticed it when a few people would, you know what, follow me, they would be like, yo, I mess with your videos and everything. That's why, you know, when I always hear Pittsburgh rappers, Pittsburgh artists talking about some, see, bro, but this, you know, this city, they don't even be doing nothing for you and everything, man. Because everybody be like, oh, man, like, they just be following all the, like, the well-known rappers in Pittsburgh, but not the slept-on rappers in, you know, on Pittsburgh. And I thought to myself, like, recently, I'm like, you know what? I have this platform. I'm almost at 5K subs. I'm less than 100 away from 5K subs. I'm already over 100 or 1,000K on the gaming channel. Why not use my platform to repost a whole bunch of, you know, Pittsburgh artists? If they really feel this way, dude, I will want them to come to me, because I'm probably not gonna cry about it or, you know, do whatever. But on the other hand, you gotta understand that some of these people are artists. They're artists. They need that attention so they can get that exposure from a certain amount of people. I don't think putting it on my channel is gonna do a lot, but it's gonna do something. At least you know who's actually there supporting. You know what I'm saying? So when you see the name SteelCityMeech, don't forget the Steel City, honestly, because even though, you know, family isn't really too happy with Pittsburgh, they don't really like Pittsburgh like that, I always had a genuine love for the city because the city never did anything bad to me. And I just always felt like, dude, we were always disrespected. The city of Pittsburgh was always disrespected, never talked about. And even coming as a football fan, I even felt that way. Regardless if, you know, Steelers were winning Super Bowls, my favorite team was the Pittsburgh Panthers for college football. And every time we did something, it got unnoticed until we finally lost. And then they wanted to, you know, to talk about something. So from the origins to now, I started realizing, dude, I've grown a lot. I really have. And it took some time. It always takes time. Don't get it twisted. But when I started realizing how many people were really messing with my channel, like close friends, close family, I was like, yeah, that's what's up, man. Honestly, that's really dope. Then when I started the gaming channel, and I fully started that like 4 months ago, dude, and then it finally hit me. Dog, back in middle school, this is something I wanted to do. I was watching NCAA 11 videos, NCAA 12 videos, NCAA 13, NCAA 14. And the fact that the community was still relevant at that time was insane to me. Like, you can ask anybody. I was in freaking American history class, first block. All right, I got my stuff done. I'm done. Okay, I could just chill for a little bit until the next, you know, assignment is ready. I'm on YouTube, putting on my earphones, watching Flimlo raps. Dude, during that whole little, what was it, that Anquan Davis series? I was on that. I was on that off the rip. I was like, dude, but the way this man does his, you know, the way he does his storylines, I want to do that. That's when it came to the Meech Jennings Road to Glory series. You know, I ain't copy his, you know, his stuff bar for bar. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta realize, dude, there is nothing wrong with a YouTuber being an influencer. For example, Chris Smoove. Chris Smoove is an influencer to all YouTubers that do gaming. That's a known fact. Don't you dare lie to me. I was watching Chris Smoove when I was like 11 or 12. Talking about 2K11 with the Heat, 2K12 with the Rockets. Lob City music. That back then, man, like influencing me made me want to influence other people. The fact that I almost only have 5K subs and only 1K subs on the gaming channel, and everybody is already looking at me as one of the biggest influencers, like, I'm like, wow, what did I do to get here? And then I realized I didn't quit. I didn't quit. My mom wouldn't let me quit. I wouldn't let myself quit. There was no quitting me, because even though I can sit here, I can get a hard-working, paying 9-to-5 job for Amazon or some BS like that, there was just no quitting me. I couldn't let that be an option. So I made it to be, oh, this is life or death for me. It wasn't like it was a really life or death situation, but it almost felt like I had no choice but to grind this way, because if I didn't grind this way, then there's no way I'm going to be able to grind any harder than what I am. So yeah, man, that's how I'm here right now. Late last year, I finally got to show my dad my YouTube channel. It was one of the dopest things ever. My mom has always been a supporter of my channel, and that means a lot too. The fact that I can pull those numbers, you know, you'd be like, oh man, but this YouTuber pulls more, but it's not about that. It's about the grind, man. It was not easy. Nowhere near easy. So when you see me just grinding as hard as I can, trying to make sure I'm doing what I gotta do, just know, man, it was never easy, man. It really was. And at the end of the day, I went through some struggles, my mom went through some struggles, my sisters went through some struggles. And would I change it for anything? I really wouldn't. Because I think this is where I belong, this is where I reside and everything. Yeah, I'm a great actor. I can do some acting, I can do some rapping. I can do some commentating. But that's just me. And there's no more to it, man. And I gotta thank my closer friends and my family for really believing in me, because if I didn't, who knows where I would be, honestly. But so anyways, you guys, that's the origins of SteelCityMeech, man. There's no more to it, bro. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends while you at it. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, the gaming, and the OG channel, man. 2021 is going up, people. I promise you. But until then, it's the kid SteelCityMeech. I'm out.